Hey y'all, welcome back to NotSoBiggMatt. I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little cook with me video for my meal prep for next week. I'm going to do egg roll in a bowl for me to take for lunch next week. It's a real simple recipe, so I just wanted to bring you guys along and sort of show you how I do it. I've kind of this is my adaptation of a bunch of different recipes. I know a salty veteran on YouTube has done it. I know that I've seen it on Pound Dropper, the Pound Dropper website. I think seems like I've seen it on A Little Less Ashley. There's a bunch of people that have done it. I think if you're in the Weight Watchers community, you've heard of it if you haven't tried it already. This is my first time doing it, but I think that I really like the Asian flavor, so I think it'll be a really good one to do for meal prep, and it should be, like I say, really simple. So I guess let's get into it. Let me turn you around and show you what I'm using today. I've got I'm going to do a double batch, so I'm doing 2 pounds of ground turkey breast, which is like 99% lean. I'm going to do some green onions or scallions. I've got low sodium soy sauce, sesame oil, minced garlic, minced ginger or pureed ginger, and 2 bags of coleslaw mix. And that's pretty much all you need for this. I had most of this stuff already. The only thing I had to get that wasn't a normal thing for me was the ginger and the coleslaw mix, because I usually have green onions and stuff around the house. So let me get everything set up and I will show you what we do. Alright, so to start with, I've got a really big skillet. I think that I'll need this largest one. I bought this at Sam's Club. It's been a long time back. I'm going to spray my pan with some non-stick spray and go ahead and get it turned on a little over medium heat, I think. And I'm just going to go ahead and toss in my turkey breast. Pound. And there's the other pound. And I'm going to break that up. And just go ahead and get this cooked down. And basically I'm just going to get this to where it's cooked through, and then I'm going to start adding some other stuff in there to sort of saute and simmer together to get the flavors to meld. So while I get this cooking, or I'm going to get this cooking and then I'll get back with you here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead to, I always sort of season my turkey meat just a little bit with, you know, some salt and pepper, just something, because without it it's kind of bland. So hitting it with some black pepper and some salt. Alright, I'm going to get this cooked through and I'll get back with you here in a minute and show you what's next. Alright, so I've got my meat all cooked through, and I'm just going to grab... I'm kind of a weirdo when it comes to the ground turkey meat, so I don't really like it to be very big. Like, I don't like huge chunks, so I usually use a pastry cutter just to kind of break the meat up into smaller pieces. And this is just a personal preference thing. I just don't really like the really big hunks of the ground turkey breast. So let me just knock this back real quick. I usually do this when I'm doing sauces or things like that. Sauces or meat mixtures. Like a lot of times I'll use turkey breast and like an extra lean ground beef. But I don't like to have really big hunks of the turkey breast. I think it's a texture thing, but when I make it smaller, it just makes it more palatable for me. So you don't have to do this. This is completely optional. Alright. So I've got my 2 pounds of ground turkey breast all cooked up. I've got a tablespoon of pureed ginger, and it's a little bit more than a tablespoon. And then I've got about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'm just going to add those to this pot, this pan, and I'm just going to let it kind of cook together for a minute. Mix it in and let those flavors open up. Just for a sec. Alright, and then I'm going to do, I've got a scant tablespoon of sesame oil and about 6 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. I'm just going to put that in and mix it all together with the meat. That smells good already. Alright, so that's all in, and then I'm just going to dump, I've got 2 bags of coleslaw mix. It's just shredded cabbage and shredded carrots. I'm going to dump both bags in, because again, I'm doubling the recipe. So if you were going to do it, you basically just cut everything in half. Alright, there's one. Oh, my pan's going to be very full. Okay. Those out of the way. I noticed some of the sesame oil didn't make it out of this little thing, so we're going to kind of rake it some, because that's important. Now I'm going to do my best to turn this over and kind of get some of the... It's going to cook down, so it's not going to be as full as it cooks. I've just got to get it kind of mixed up some. And I may end up having to add a little bit more soy sauce. But I won't know that until I get some of this cooked down and get to taste it. I also chopped up 6 little green onions. I'm going to throw those in here in just a second too. So that's here. I just ran my knife through them really good. So get that in there. And I'm just going to let this cook until it reduces down by about half. So I want to basically I'm just gonna cook. I'm cooking off the cabbage now, the cabbage and carrots, and then once that's done, this is finished. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this and get it cooked down, and I will come back and show you what I've got at the end, and I'll have some points breakdown for you also to go along with it. Alright, we'll check back with you in a bit. Alright, so I've got it kind of cooked everything down, and I did go ahead and add 1 more tablespoon of the soy sauce because the flavor wasn't 100% where I needed it to be. I'm also going to add a little bit of onion powder. I'm just going to, I think I put it in the app as a teaspoon. I'm just going to shake in a little bit of onion powder, and then I'm going to shake in a little bit of garlic powder, and then also I put that as a teaspoon. Those are both 0 points if you do it that way. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt and just a little bit of pepper. Give it another mix, and I think that's going to be the ball game. Let me get it mixed in and I'll give it another taste. I think that's going to be pretty much where I want it to be. Everything's cooked together. The flavors have melded pretty well. It probably could have used a little bit more of the sesame oil, but I didn't want to sacrifice the points for it. Right now, the way it sits, the ginger that I have is a pureed ginger, and I think it has some sugar or something in it because it actually does scan when you use a tablespoon of it as a point. So I had a point there. I think I had 4 points for my sesame oil, and I had 1 point for my soy sauce. So I think the whole thing came out to be 6 points. Let's see. Let me check that. Yeah. So I came out to 6 points on blue with everything listed. Let's see what it looks like. Alright. That's really good. I like it a lot. That's going to be it's a really vegetable rich dish with a good pack of protein. I think that once I calculate it out into servings, it'll probably end up being 1 point per serving, just because Weight Watchers math is weird. So anyway, that's what we've got. Let me bring you in a little closer and let you really see what it looks like. I think it'll do really well once it's bowled up. Alright, well listen, thank y'all for tuning in again to my channel, and we'll catch you next time on Not So Big Matt. See ya.